Hello, and welcome to the Rona Rants. This is the second podcast, and I'm glad to have all of you here tonight. I'm your host, Bernardo, and let's talk shit about life together. Why not? Or just, you can sit down, just listen to my voice, and, I'm just going to give my opinions, my unsolicited opinions on different matters, topics that I probably, have no knowledge about, but I like to comment on anyway. I don't know. I like to say what I think. And I hope you will have the patience to just sit down and listen to me. And if not, you can fuck right off. You can just turn off this podcast and go on with your miserable life. Okay, let's see what topics we have for today. First of all, I wanted to say thank you for the feedback on the first podcast. I was pretty happy about that. So quite a few people watched it, and I've got five guests lined up just to talk with me on the podcast, and that's amazing. I'm pretty happy about that. I will be I will be having these guests after my fifth podcast, because I want to get used to the format, I don't want to go crazy and get guests already from the start. I want to get used to this shit, and when I'm comfortable, I'll have the guests come in. So after the fifth podcast, we'll start getting some guests. And I'm not going to spoil the guests right now, but it will be interesting. Let's just put it like that. It will be interesting. And if you want to come to the show, feel free to come. It would be great to have all of you in. And I'll figure out some fun topics to talk about, so you don't have to worry about that shit. Let me just have my Coke Zero here. Living the unhealthy Coke Zero fast food every once in a while life. Yeah, so what did I want to say? Okay, the topics for today. I've got some small news that I want to share. That's not really a topic, but I want to share that. And I have the Kingsman review for you guys, because I rewatched Queensman. I rewatched Kingsman just for you guys. I rewatched that whole fucking movie yesterday. Alright, so I'm going to give my opinion later. And I've got a question from one of the viewers that I will want to address. And I've got a hypothetical situation that I want to discuss with you guys. And that I wanted to discuss in the last podcast, but I didn't. So I'll bring it over to this podcast. And I wanted to put some more topics into this, but I thought that maybe the second podcast I will keep relatively short. And what we're going to do is I'm going to follow a suggestion from a friend of mine, which is to put a time limit on each topic. And if I feel like talking about it more, then of course I can extend, but it's just to keep myself more or less organized and not just ramble on and on and on and on and on and on about something. So first, let's talk a bit about the news that I have. My family got a new family member. We got a puppy. We got a puppy, finally. And his name is Rosbif. Rosbif de Montalegre is his name. So Rosbif means roast beef. And and it took some convincing to get Rosbif as a name for our dog. We had to convince my dad, who was quite against it. But now I think he likes the name. He's the dog is it's a Portuguese breed. He is a Cão de Gado Transmontano. So it's like a Transmontano Shepherd. Trás-os-Montes is a region in Portugal. And he's really cute. He seems to be quite different from my old dog, Vega. Like his demeanor, he's a lot calmer and just more passive in general. But he seems to be quite cute. So it could be an interesting addition to the family. Let's see what happens to the dog. Because the thing is, the problem with my parents is that they're always in disagreement, And usually my mom gets the upper hand at some point in the discussions. But basically, my mom thinks that the dog should be treated in one way. My dad thinks it should be treated in another way. And we'll just see what happens to the dog. Maybe it's fucked up, Maybe it turns out fucked up like me and my brother. I'm kidding. My parents treated us well. Um, Although my brother is a little bit fucked up. He's not like me. Yeah, so that's the news that I've got. And I'm pretty happy about that. I really want to cuddle with that dog. But unfortunately, I am stuck in Berlin. For the time being, at least. Okay, let's move on to the topics. I'm going to set my timer 10 minutes. All right, so let's talk about Kingsman. So I rewatched the movie yesterday, and I don't really know what to say, you know? I want to. I don't want to apologize to anyone because my opinion was valid in the past. But I rewatched the movie, and I have to be honest, I actually enjoyed it. So I was talking a lot of shit in the last podcast, but the truth is that I actually enjoyed the movie. It was, I don't know, like it was a good action movie. I can say this, it was a good action movie, you know? But I cannot accept that it's a good comedy. This is the thing. I think it's a good action movie. It's not a good comedy. I hope that people, when they talk about Kingsman, they're talking about it like it's an action movie. Because if you talk about it like it's a comedy movie, it's not that good. And let's how do I organize my thoughts? I need to think about it a little bit. So, first of all, in the past, my biggest problem with Kingsman was that it felt like I was watching a rehash of movies that I had seen in the past, right? So it felt like it was just completely copying movies that I had seen in the past and not really putting any original spin to it, and it just had a couple of good fight scenes. So that was my original opinion. I know a lot of people hate me for this opinion. Well, I wanna rephrase that, I guess, or change my opinion. I think it was actually original in some things. Like the action scenes were really good. The fight scenes were actually quite cool to watch. Um, a lot of people talk about the bar scene, the bar fighting scene, but there is a better fighting scene which is in the church. So when Colin Firth gets I don't want to spoil the movie, but there's a part where he goes berserk and he just beats everyone up. And that part is, I think, the best part. That's the best action scene I saw. And yeah, like if you just look at it as an action movie, it has really good action scenes. But it has a fucking zero in most things. Like in most, fuck, how do I express this? Like it's great. It's got great visuals. It's got great combat. But even though it's original in the sense that it has different types of fuck me, dude. I don't know how to express myself. It has a different way of showing fight scenes. So the camera angles and the whole perspective while the action is occurring is different from most movies that I've watched. So that was quite cool. There was a lot of over the shoulder shots and it's very fast paced and so on. So I thought that was quite original. But the rest, like the whole storyline and the character, like he's like a sloppy character that they pick up from the streets and he becomes proper and so on. And everything else except for the villain. The villain was also kind of quirky, but still, I've seen that in a movie in the past, that the villain is kind of quirky. And I don't know, I felt like it's a good action movie, but it's quite generic, That's my opinion. And a lot of people are going to hate me for it, but you can fuck right off, because I really do think it's it's a bit generic. Like I would give it a 7. I would give it a solid 7. I think it's just overrated. It's an overrated movie because it doesn't have many very original ideas. That's the thing. Like they could have innovated a bit more, That's what I feel. And so the reason why I don't want to say that it's a comedy movie is because I feel like the comedy is very lackluster. And the thing is, it sounds nowhere close to Mr. Bean. Like, the thing is, Mr. Bean, not Mr. Bean, sorry, Johnny English is is a much better movie than Kingsman, in my opinion. It's got great action. It's okay. It doesn't have the fight scenes, but it's got great action. It's a lot funnier, as long as I can remember. Maybe I have to rewatch Johnny English. Johnny English one. I'm not talking about the second one. I'm laughing, by the way. It doesn't mean that my opinion isn't serious. I'm laughing because I think a lot of people are gonna hate me for this, but I think Johnny English is it's a superior movie objectively. Like, it's just better. It's funnier. It's got great action. You have Rowan Atkinson starring in Johnny English, and it's just, it's got the funny sexual scenes as well. Like, it's better than, the thing that the main character of Kingsman has with the Swedish princess, and yeah, it's just overall Johnny English is a better movie. Johnny English is an 8.5, where Kingsman is a 7. That's basically it. But I wanted to talk a little bit about like memory as well, because I'm known for having really crappy memory, right? So the way I perceive, or when I was a kid, I perceived the movie really badly. Like, I really thought Kingsman was a 4, I don't know. I don't know what was wrong with me at the time, but I just really hated the movie. And I remember the scenes differently. Like, I remember the scene where the main character goes to have sexy time with the Swedish princess. I remembered it being really cringy, and now that I rewatched it, it was actually completely normal. Mm. And a lot of scenes that I remembered from the movie are not exactly how they were. So that was kind of weird. And lately, I've been having some conversations with friends where my memory's super fragile. Like, I'm remembering things wrong and whatever. It's kind of scary, dude. So I've been thinking of getting this like memory app to, I don't know, to train my memory. But the thing is, my short-term memory is pretty good though. If you give me a number or whatever, I can memorize it and tell you later. Or a sequence of objects in my room. But the problem is that the long-term memories, maybe because I'm traumatized or something, but I just don't remember things correctly, or I don't remember things at all. There's a lot of things in my past that I just don't remember. And people have to retell me. And it sucks a little bit, dude. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. But yeah, overall, Kingsman, would I recommend it? I think I would recommend it. If you want a generic movie to watch that has good action, I would recommend Kingsman. Otherwise, if you want a solid action comedy, then you should definitely watch Johnny English. Johnny English and Johnny English and what the fuck's his name? Austin Powers, right? So these two are the best in this type of comedy. This parody of James Bond. Kingsman is like a wannabe James Bond, which it's like a wannabe James Bond because it doesn't end up being so much a parody. Like, it has some comedic scenes and some comedic aspects, but in general, the movie is kind of taken seriously. So I would say it's a wannabe James Bond. The others do a much better job when it comes to having action and making fun of James Bond. And yeah, that's my opinion on Kingsman. And if you have any problems, you can comment on this episode. You can talk to me directly, and give me your point of view. Tell me what you think about Kingsman. Also, one thing that I wanted to mention, which I think I will add to another podcast, is that I've actually never watched Titanic. So I know it's a completely different movie, but I never watched it, and I wanted to know, is it actually worth watching? Like, I downloaded the movie, I think. No, I have it on Netflix. And I've been seriously considering watching it. The thing is, I already know the whole story, So is it even worth watching? Like, I know this fucking story. Is there any point to watching it? Like, what I remember or what I heard is that basically you have Leonardo DiCaprio, he dances a little bit and whatever, and then Then the Titanic hits the iceberg, and then they're all gonna die. And then for some reason, there's like space on this raft or whatever, and there's space for everyone, but Leonardo DiCaprio just sacrifices himself for the girl and some other guy who will later be with the girl or whatever. Um, is there much more to know than this? I don't know. It's 3 hours long, you know. I don't know if I can do 3 hours long. I'm not sure. And what if it turns out to be like Kingsman, you know? Oh shit, that was my alarm. I guess I should stop talking about this topic now. I don't know. Basically, guys, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you really like Kingsman, that's fine, you know? I guess I should apologize a bit to the fans, you know. I was talking a lot of shit in the last podcast. Um, it's an okay movie. It's an okay movie. All right, let's go to the second question or second topic, which is a question. And I need to bring up my timer. Just a second. Let's see. Okay, first I'll read the question. So it's a question of a friend of mine. It's actually not a question. It's a thing that he wants me to say, right? So it's tell me 5 goals or things you'd like to have done in about 5 years. All right, so this is this might be a bit less interesting for you guys because I'm not commenting on anything other than my own life, but I will. Yeah, I can do this. I can do this. Let me just set up these 10 minutes. Alrighty. So 5 things that I want in 5 years. Sure, I can think about it. So first of all, I think the first thing that I would like in 5 years is to, but this is very ideal, right? So I don't know if I can do it in 5 years, but I would love to work for myself somehow. So either by doing some kind of hobby which becomes profitable, maybe this fucking podcast, you never know. Uh, it could be this or just any project that I would like to do and it becomes profitable somehow. Uh, or it could be through work, you know, maybe I become better at my work and then I manage to branch out and just do my own thing. This would also be really nice. So basically, I want to make my own company or make my own money. I, I'm, I mean, I haven't been working for that long, but I just can't see myself working a normal salary job all the time. Like, it's just something that I don't think matches me, and this is something that I would like to change for the future. For the next 5 years, I would definitely want to, excuse me, I would definitely want to work for myself and make my own money. Now, I want to say I've been I've been investing as well on the side. So I've been dabbling a little bit in investments, and and I don't know shit of what I'm doing. You know, like I have some good investments, but I have a lot of risky investments as well. And basically, part of the money that I managed to save at the end of the month, I use a percentage of that for investments. So right now it's been stocks, and at some point I will put in index funds and some other bullshit. But yeah, my choices have been kind of weird. Like there was recently a scandal on that happened on Reddit. So I don't know if you guys are aware of this, of the GameStop scandal. I can talk a little bit about this, but I have to be fast. Otherwise, I break the 10-minute rule, and that's not good. So, wait a second. Let me just have a sip of my Coke. Liquid cancer. What was I gonna say? Yes, GameStop. So you might have heard about this GameStop scandal. I don't know if everyone knows about it or if you know what's going on or whatever. But basically, I can explain. The whole internet decided to fuck the people in Wall Street. They wanted to fuck everyone in Wall Street up, right? So what happens is a lot of times in Wall Street. This is from what I understand. Okay, I'm not a stocks pro. From what I understand, a lot of investors, when they think that a company is going to go bankrupt, they can do a thing which is called shorting, where they temporarily borrow. They borrow stocks from someone, right? And then they sell the stocks for a certain price, and then they need to give back the stocks to the original owner after a certain time. So if the company gets worse, the stocks will reduce in price, so they can just buy it again and resell it to that original owner, or give back to that original owner. So they basically make a profit from that. Okay, so all you need to know is that people can bet on the fact that some companies are going to go bankrupt, and they make a lot of money out of it. All right. So people on Reddit, which is a popular website, banded together along with some people on 4chan, which is another site, and the whole internet banded together to fuck these guys over. So there was one company called GameStop, which was their stock value was going really down because of Corona, I guess. And so what they did was they all started buying stocks from GameStop, which made the stock price go up. And now suddenly these people that made this shorting thing where they eventually have to rebuy and give back to the owners their stock, they got fucked over because they have to buy it like at 30 times the price that they originally intended, you know? And so some people lost millions, like, or American billions on this. So I kind of jumped on the bandwagon and I bought a bit of this stock, and I also made some other purchases on other stocks, and I bought some cryptocurrency stupidly, but it seems to be actually slightly profitable, and just, you know, I want to see where that goes. It's kind of like a silly hobby. But yeah, I think it was quite interesting. Okay, enough of that first point. So 5 things that I want in the future. Number 1 is this: to be able to work for myself somehow. This would be super interesting. Point number 2, I would like to be I would like to develop some hobbies that I'm really interested in, but I have no experience in. So one of them is the piano. I would like to become a lot more musical or musically skilled. So my idea was to practice on the piano because I like the piano, and there are quite a few songs that I want to learn, and it would just be awesome to work on this. Not just this, but also animation. So 2 things that I really wanted to work on were these 2, piano and animation, because I could use them for many different purposes. You know, like I could make some series of my own. I could make some cartoons or whatever, and it would just be really interesting. I like this kind of entertainment stuff, and I have a project of my own that I'm developing on the side, and I think that having these skills would be really interesting. Also, just for my personal life, you know, I can impress a lot of people with the piano, and just seem a lot more interesting than I actually am. And so this is number 2. I would like to develop a lot more hobbies, and to say a concrete goal, I want to be able to play 3 songs that I like on the piano. Oh, come on, in 5 years? Now, in 5 years, I would like to be able to play by ear quite a lot. So if I listen to a song, or if I have an idea, I can play it. And I would like to play some specific songs that I like. And I would like to be able to animate as well. Quite decent cartoons or whatever. Just, yeah. This is 2 things I would really like to do. Number 3, third thing that I would like to be, I'm interested in bodyweight training. I'm not good at all. I'm an amateur for sure, but I would like to become a lot better at it. I would like to become somehow advanced. I hope that after Corona I can join some groups to improve, but I'm following like a routine for this, and yeah, I just like to do it, you know. I think it's cool. I also like the gym, but I would just prefer doing bodyweight. I find it more fun. Number 4, what else? Well, I would like to be rich. Now, one thing I would really like is to know where I want to live. You know, because I've been jumping from country to country, and Germany's really cool, but I do intend to go back to Portugal soon. So I think in 2021 I will be coming back to Portugal. I'm going to live in Lisbon for a few years, but I'm not sure if I will stay in Lisbon forever. I might go to the UK. The UK seems really interesting to me now. It sucks because of Brexit, but maybe Ireland. Who knows? But yeah, this is it's fucking annoying, because if you're Portuguese, the thing is like you can. Uh, Portugal is a great country. I really enjoy Portugal in general. I like our culture. I like our food. I like the sun, which is the best part. But every country has their downsides, and if you live in Portugal, then you have to opt for lower salaries and whatever. And that's why I'm trying to cheat the system and live in Portugal, but work for a company abroad, which I know that quite a few people are doing nowadays. Um, so that's quite cool, but it's frustrating, because as a Portuguese person, I don't know, I feel like you're somewhat pressured to leave. But I also wanted to leave and explore the world. But I was thinking, fucking England, why not? England would be fun. Or London at some point. But for now, I want to go back home. Anyway, what I wanted to say was that in 5 years, I want to be able to know where I want to live and settle down and have a house and a puppy and just live the good life. That's my plan. Fifth thing. What do I want? Fifth thing. I don't know. I think I covered most of the things that I wanted to do. Fifth thing. What could it be? So I talked about hobbies, work. Oh, timer just hit. But I want to finish that fucking thought, dude. What do I want? The fifth thing I want in 5 years. Before, if you asked me before, I would say children, but I don't know, dude. I really don't know. I don't know if I'm in such a hurry to get children. I even considered, of maybe not having children. I don't know if my parents will kill me for this, but it's just the thought has been coming to my head a lot recently, which is something that I never thought about in the past. Like for me, it was set in stone that I would have children and that I would raise a family and everything. But the thing is, um, maybe I'm too selfish to have children. I'm not sure. There's a lot of things that I want to do before. I just got to my fifth thing. Yeah, it's definitely not children. Fuck children. I'm kidding. I want children. I think I want children at some point, at some point in the future, but it depends a lot on the partner that I have and whatever. But I think at some point in the future, I will have children. But I think in 5 years, I want to be able to have traveled to every continent once. So I've been to South Africa when I was a child, but I don't remember. And I would like to be once in every continent in the world. Should I include Antarctica? No. Let's say, yeah, Americas, Africa, Europe, Oceania, Asia. Um, yeah, I would just like to go everywhere. Like, I have some ideas in mind. Like, of course, USA. I would love to go there. I've never been there. Um, I would like to go to Brazil. Maybe Mexico too. But more importantly, Australia, Japan, Korea, not North Korea, or maybe North Korea. Fuck it. This is spin a roulette. South Korea for sure. China maybe. In Africa, I would like to go to South Africa again as an adult. Possibly Egypt or Morocco. Yeah, have to think about it. When this podcast becomes famous and people want to hear me from everywhere, then I'll just find some places to crash and I'll move there. I'll travel there. Okay, I think I answered everything. Wait, let me just open this PC and get my Coke. Get my Coke, y'all. So that was a very personal question. wasn't really a question, but yeah, it was personal. Sorry about that, guys. But I hope you have some ideas of your own that you want to share. Wait just 1 second. I'm distracted here a little bit. Okay, let's go into the hypothetical question. We're on the 30-minute mark now, and that's perfect. Okay, hypothetical question. So this is something that I discussed with some people before. I think it was my brother who who talked to me about this. And bear with me, okay? It sounds ridiculous, but I'm just curious. So, imagine the following scenario. Imagine that there is there's a specific type of food, okay? There is a specific type of food that can be produced and distributed to you in an infinite supply, okay? And this food tastes amazing. It tastes really, really good. Like, it's the best thing you've ever tasted. You know, you can't get better than this taste, and you will never get bored of it, okay? It's just like somehow it's got some cocaine or something inside, but it doesn't fuck you up. So it's got some properties that uh make you never get tired of it. All right? It doesn't make you addicted to it, but you never get tired of that taste, okay? Um and the food, let's say it's a cookie, okay? Let's just say it's a cookie, but it can be whatever you want. Let's say that um this cookie is healthy. So in the sense that, yeah, it doesn't fuck you up, basically. Like, it won't give you any extra cholesterol. It doesn't have sugar. Even though it can taste sweet if that's what you want. And it's got like let's say it's got a negative calorie count. Okay, so you eat it, and you get slightly you get slightly thinner, when you eat it. Um, Okay, wait, no, I have to remove that part. Otherwise, people would abuse it. But let's say that it has a 0 calorie count. So you can eat it as much as you want, and you won't get extra calories. So you won't get fatter from it, okay? Um, and so it's a food that is, and it has a lot of nutrients. So you will always feel nourished, I guess. Like, you won't need... Wait, but that can also be abused. Okay, I'm getting too complicated here. Okay, it's a cookie that tastes really good. It's got 0 calories. All right. You never get sick of it, and you get an infinite supply of this food. All right. You don't have to go out and buy it. It's just always there. And my question to you guys is: let's say that the catch here is that this cookie or this food is made out of the shit that the person you dislike the most made. So the feces of the person that you dislike the most, the cookie's made out of that. All right? Would you eat it? That's my question. Would you eat this shit cookie that someone else produced? So the person you dislike the most made this shit cookie. They made it on purpose, all right? Would you eat it? Even though it does not taste like shit, it tastes amazing. It's got a 0 calorie count, and it's healthy. Would you eat it? And would you eat it on a regular basis? That's my question to you guys. And I'll answer I'll answer and give you my opinion. Would I eat it? There's not a lot of people that I hate, number one. So it would be hard to, think of someone that would trigger me so much that I wouldn't be able to eat it. But I think, honestly, I think this is a big ego question, Like, would it bother you that much to eat a shit cookie? So from the people that I talk to, a lot of people complain saying, no, I would never eat that, it's made of shit. So what if it's made of shit? You don't taste the shit. So why would it bother you so much that you're eating a shit cookie? Why would it bother you? It doesn't have the texture of shit. It doesn't taste like shit. So why would it bother you so much? Is it just psychologically it bothers you that it's made of shit? Like, I wonder what happens to a lot of our food, Maybe it has a little bit of, of cow shit in it, you know? Like some of the vegetables. Why does it bother people so much? Like, if it's because it's made of shit, you wouldn't eat it? I don't know. Would that be an impediment to me? I don't think so. But now you know that the shit is made of it belongs to someone that you really dislike, right? And they made it just for you. Somehow that feels awful, right? But it's such a great food. That's the thing. I'm trying to think like in my head, like picture in my head someone I really dislike. Would I eat it if the person made it just for me, you know? Like it's kind of it it's a question of honor, right? Like almost of pride. Would my pride be so offended? Like would I be so offended to not eat this if it's got so many benefits? Mm, honestly, I think I would eat it. I would eat this cookie. Like it's so useful, you know? Let's say that let's say that it because you okay, it has a 0 calorie count, but I'm sure that you can feel fuller, right, when you're eating the cookie. This I didn't really clarify if this cookie would make you feel fuller, but I would assume it would make you feel fuller, even though you know there's the physical impossibility of having 0 calories. Let's say that it should make you fuller, right? Otherwise, there's no point in eating that. Um, so let's say that it makes you fuller, right? Then you could completely abuse this food, you know? Like if it's a 0 calorie count, you can just skip a lot of meals or skip a few meals like once or twice a day just by eating these shit cookies. You could just eat these shit cookies and they would taste amazing. You can just have a shit cookie every now and then, you know? You can have like, let's say you have 5 shit cookies per day. You skip a full meal. That's fucking awesome. You get leaner, you get healthier, and it's you just have to eat 5 shit cookies. It's not that bad. You know, like okay, the guy had to shit 5 times for you, and you're eating 5 times his feces. Um, but is it that bad? I would eat it, man. Honestly, I would eat it. But the question is, what if people, what if people knew that you were eating it? So that's another catch. Like, let's say that you say yes. If you said no, I mean that's because your pride is quite high, right? You don't want to eat someone else's shit, and especially not someone that you dislike. Would that change if I paid you to eat it? You know, if you got like 100 euros per shit cookie, would that change? And if you said yes, if you would eat the shit cookie, if you would incorporate the shit cookie into your diet, um, uh, would that change if I said that people would know that you're eating shit cookies? Like, if people knew that you ate shit cookies on a regular basis, would that actually change your opinion, or would it stay the same? And that's the thing. I don't know. I think if people knew that I was eating shit cookies, how would they know anyway? Would someone be broadcasting to them? Or is it something that I would have to write somewhere, like listen, like on some dating biography? By the way, I eat shit cookies. um, uh, would I still eat them? Yeah, I think so, man. I think so. I mean, I think I have good reasons to eat the shit cookies. You know, it would be perfect. It would just completely solve a lot of dietary issues. You know, and nutrition is something that I kind of I'm not good at handling, you know. I hate cooking. I can cook a mean curry, you know. I can make people drool over my curry, you know. I can make some fucking naan for all of you and a fucking badass curry. So I can cook sometimes, you know. I can follow YouTube, you know. YouTube is my second dad. You know, I'd say this all the time. YouTube taught me a lot of stuff. Taught me how to talk, taught me how to walk, taught me how to cook. So, I mean, I can follow a YouTube recipe and cook for everyone. But do I like to cook? No. I cook prison food for myself, you know? Fuck it, man. Like, if you saw what I cook, like, I cooked for, I think, a month now, just tofu, beans, and rice. That was my fucking life. Now I changed it. I'm back to chicken and rice, which is my favorite. So for years I was just eating chicken and rice, and now I'm eating chicken and rice and raw broccoli. I actually like broccoli. I like it when it's raw broccoli. It's fucking lit. But do I like cooking? No, I don't. I don't like the hassle of having to cook every day and having to worry about how much I'm eating and whatever. Because I tend to, I don't know, I tend to be skinny fat for some reason. Like, my genetics suck. um, shit, I ran out of time. But yeah, let me know how you guys feel about the shit cookies. Can you write in the comments or just tell me, like, would you eat shit cookies? Would you adopt them to your diet? Or would you never touch them? Like, give me your reasons, give me your arguments. I'm really curious to hear more about like what people think about the shit cookies. And yeah, so the timer just rang, and I think that's the end of the show for today. Thanks for tuning in, and I have a bunch of other topics to talk about for the next podcast. But yeah, I would love to hear feedback. I love discussing bullshit. So if you have anything to say, then let me know. If you want to be a guest on the podcast, let me know. It would be awesome to have people to talk with and just discuss stupid things. All right. Thanks a lot. Talk to you guys later. Bye bye.